Hello everyone, welcome back to The Everyday Runner. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not you need a running shoe rotation. So to start things off real quick, let's go over what is a running shoe rotation. So simply put, a running shoe rotation, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's when you use two or more training shoes throughout your training. Whether you use a workout shoe, a racing shoe, an easy day shoe, a regular shoe, a long run shoe, you can have totally different number of shoes that each person uses, but a running shoe rotation is just two or more pairs of shoes that you rotate throughout your training cycle. So the two shoes that I use right now for my shoe rotation are the Nike Pegasus 35s. I use these for sort of like everyday running, faster stuff because they're a bit lighter. They have a thinner midsole than my other shoe I'm going to go over. So that's my first shoe. And my second shoe right now is the Hoka Bondi. And as you can see, this one has a lot of stack height. This is my easy day shoe, recovery shoe, just some slow miles in these. So you like to use these for recovery and these for everyday / faster things. And so right now in my training, I really don't have a workout shoe because I'm not really doing a lot of workouts. But typically I would have a third shoe, which would be a workout shoe. And that would be similar to this one, but maybe a bit lighter, maybe something a bit more responsive. So think along the lines of like a Saucony Endorphin Speed or a Nike Turbo, something like that that's a bit lighter and a bit more responsive. So that's my running shoe rotation right now. So let's get into whether or not I think it's necessary. And right off the bat, is it necessary? I'm going to say no. And the reason I say no is because for a lot of my running career and a lot of my friends that run, we just run in one pair of shoes and that's good enough. And so I think if you can only afford one pair of shoes or you have one pair of shoes that you really like, just run in those. It's not that big of a deal. For 99% of people, running in one shoe is going to accomplish all the tasks you need to do. Getting one of these everyday shoes, this thing can do, you know, your regular runs, long runs, faster days, easy days. It can really do it all. The other shoe, the Bondi here, this shoe is really designed more for easy days with the high stack height, but it's a good everyday trainer and I've done some quicker stuff in it, but if you're gonna go try to tear it up on a track or something, this probably isn't the shoe you wanna go for. While I think it's possible to only have one shoe that you do everything in, you're gonna wanna make sure that it's the right shoe. When you watch a lot of these shoe reviews, I would probably go for a shoe that people label as an everyday shoe, because that shoe's gonna be able to do more than a recovery shoe or a workout shoe would be able to. So that's why I don't think it's necessary, because I don't think you're really missing out on a ton of things if you don't have a shoe rotation. But on the flip side, I think if you can afford to do a running shoe rotation and you're running more workouts and more mileage and that kind of thing, I think it can be helpful to have a running shoe rotation, and here's why. So like I said earlier, normally I would have this shoe, which is an everyday shoe, an easy shoe, and then probably a workout shoe. And the reason why it's good to have different shoes is because it's like having different tools in your toolkit. So you're not gonna go try to screw in, you're not gonna try to go nail a nail into the wall with a wrench. You know, you're gonna use a hammer. And so running shoes are the same way in that each shoe is designed to do specific things. So like I said earlier, this shoe is really made for recovery. Can you run every day in it? Can you run faster in it? Yes, but it's not really good at that. It's not designed for doing that. Same thing with this one. This one's kind of designed in the middle. It can be run easy in, it can, you know, be used for workouts, long runs, but is it particularly good at any of those? Not really. So just like a mechanic would have a toolkit, running shoes are kind of the same way, in that each one's designed for different things. So that's why it can be helpful to have different shoes. Another thing along that same line is that I like to have those shoes dedicated to that specific thing, so that when I put those shoes on, that's how my mind is angled as well. So if I'm putting an easy day shoe on, I'm gonna go for an easy run. If I'm putting my workout shoe on, I'm ready to run fast. If I have my everyday shoe on, I'm just ready to grind out another everyday run. So that's another positive. I think a third positive, and this is probably the most practical thing I would say, is that I think it strengthens your feet over time, because, you know, these shoes here have different drops. Like this is I think a 5mm drop or 4mm. This is 8 or 10mm. So Each different drop is gonna work your foot in a different way, and some shoes have low stack height, some shoes have high stack height, some shoes are stiff, some shoes are soft. And so by changing that, it allows your foot to not get used to something, and it kind of constantly strengthens it. So I think that's definitely a positive. So is it necessary overall to have a shoe rotation? I would say no. Can it be a good thing? Yes. And one last thing I do want to go over is I would leave racing shoes out of a shoe rotation because you're generally not going to be wearing your racing shoes except for on race day. So that's the one time that I would say you definitely should have a shoe other than your everyday shoe whenever you go to race. So can you race in this kind of a shoe? Yes, but there's so many better options out there right now for racing shoes that I would say if you're gonna have one shoe for training, great, but definitely get something different for a racing shoe. I would say the only exceptions are nowadays you have shoes like the Endorphin Speed or the Brooks Hyperion Tempo, shoes like that really could be used for training or racing. But I'd say 99% of the shoes out there, like a Pegasus or Vomero or an Ultra Boost, something like that, you're gonna want to have a racing companion because they're more designed for that. So to bring everything together here, should you have a running shoe rotation? Yes. Do you need to have a running shoe rotation? No. For most of my running career, I didn't have a shoe rotation, and a lot of the friends I have don't have running shoe rotations. As long as you have your training shoe and a separate racing shoe outside of your rotation, I think you're good to go. That's really all you need. And like I said, for those of you out there that just want to have one shoe, aim for an everyday shoe. Good examples are the Pegasus, the Vomero, the Brooks Launch, any of those shoes that are really deemed as everyday shoes, I would go with one of those because I think that's going to be your best bet and you get the most value out of it. Well guys, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, definitely leave them down in the comment section below and let us know, do you have running shoe rotation? We really appreciate you guys watching these videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. So, from one everyday runner to another, we'll see you next time.